Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I'm here today to review a concert film called Hardcore Devo Live. Now, I'd be remiss if before reviewing this, I don't give you my complete history with Devo. Devo is one of my all-time favorite bands, and Devo was a huge part of my childhood growing up, from 1980 on up. Um, I wanted to dedicate this video to my sister because she was the one that experienced a lot of it growing up, at least up until I went to the army, anyways. Um, my first introduction to Devo was like most people through the song "Whip It" on the radio. I absolutely love that song. I love that song. I was never sure what the album was that was on. I found it later on, Freedom of Choice, right? And I love that song. Every time it came on, I really enjoyed it. I remember I never had this the 45 for it, and when I went over to my cousin Eric Door and Chandra Door, they had that thing whipping. We used to listen to it, and I remember I used to listen. I listened to the other side too. They had a song called "Turn Around," which they hated, and I like that song. I mean, a lot of times with Devo, they'll have like a 45 or something like that, and they'll have like these other songs that like B-side songs that they don't release. It wasn't on the album Freedom of Choice, and that was a great song. Just like with the 45 working a coal mine, the other side had the song Planet Earth. You know. Well, anyways, from that was really good. Remember seeing him on Merv Griffin. That was really cool. And I like the look. I never saw the music video till a little bit later, and I remember. I think the first ever. I got my stereo. The first ever record I bought was either. They had a song from there, "Be Stiff." It was like in a big plastic sleeve, and it was like from this show from Britain, like of 6 different songs with "Be Stiff" and "Gates of Steel" on it and stuff like that. And that might have been the very first album I had of theirs. I mean, it wasn't Freedom of Choice, of course. And then after that was New Traditionalists. I thought New Traditionalists was a great value for the money. You know, I think New Traditionalists is my all-time favorite Devo album. They have songs like "Through Being Cool," "Jerking Back and Forth" on it, and I remember in the record when you opened it up, it had a poster, a full-on poster. I mean, with no colors in it though. Full-on poster. I maybe you're supposed to color it in. I never did. Poster, and I remember there was a 35 in there, or no, a 45. Those are small records with one song on one side, one song on the other. And that was, like I said, "Work on the Coal Mine." It was linked to the movie Heavy Metal because they were in the movie Heavy Metal. And they did "Work in the Coal Mine" and also did "Through Being Cool" in Heavy Metal. And I think they did "Planet Earth" also. The other side was the song "Planet Earth" for the movie. And I remember seeing them on Fridays. That was probably their best performance on a live network TV station ever. And that was the one with the treadmills on it. Well, I thought it was really clever. That's actually on YouTube. They did a couple songs. They did I don't know what the first song was. It was like an instrumental. I never heard that song except for there. I don't know. That must be another B-side song. And then they did "Jerking Back and Forth" on there. I think they came back with another song, but they never had that from Fridays on it. But they just had that performance, that intro, and then that song. It was really good. It was so cool to see it again on YouTube, and that was when I started my YouTube channel. That was one of my very first things I saw. Was that thing for Fridays? I remember commenting on that a long time ago. How cool it was to them, thanking them for bringing that back. I think I even did a thank you video about that. On my other channel, I think I can't remember. Anyways, from that, my parents knew that I liked Devo, and they were on like. I remember seeing on Solar Gold they had a video for "Through Being Cool," which is a great video, great song, great video. And then they had "Beautiful World" on there. I remember seeing that. I missed that video. I had to do something, and people at school said, "Oh, that video sucks. It's not Stefan." But a lot of the kids at school, they hated Devo. I don't know. I love Devo. I don't care. And from that, you know, they had a new album called Oh No It's Devo coming out. I remember waking up, I believe it was 82 for Christmas 82, coming downstairs and my it's about the same. My dad had something and he had like the Devo album on display with them as, uh, oh Mark Mothersbaugh how had the thing. He had that like that weird glasses and stuff like that, and he had held that photo and they showed like Devo's potatoes and stuff like that. Very strange thing. I remember they were on Square Pegs promoting that album. I think they did the song That's Good from the album, and that was a great album. I remember they had something called Dr. Rock in Showtime, and they said he hated the album. He said it's time for Devo to do a country music album, country metal album. That'd be something different. Country music album, like give me a break. And then from there, they did an album called Shout. I remember I had it on cassette, and Shout didn't get the big release like the other ones did. And that was like the last thing they did for Warner Brothers. I mean, they did some other albums before, but I'm talking about my chronological order with the band. You know? And then I remember, I remember letting someone borrow, and then she lost it. And then I got the thing back, but the case was from a different cassette case or something like that. And they had like the Jimi Hendrix song, Are You Experienced? I finally saw a music video for that on YouTube, and I'll be honest, the music video for that is really, really stupid. It's really a stupid video. And I love Devo, but it's a stupid video. From that, I mean, I found out that my neighbors, they had like the original Devo album, Are We Not Men? We Are Devo from 1978. And see, the chronological order, I can't remember it completely. I remember seeing that. I listened to that once or twice when I was over their place. I think someone let me borrow the cassette, and I gave it back to them. And I remember they had a place called Graham's Tape Trading, which sadly is no longer here. The guy passed away back in the early 90s, and that was like his big thing in the Edinburgh Mall was to have a tape trading place. I remember buying Freedom of Choice there. My dad bought that Talking Heads Speaking in Tongues album that had songs like Home and Heaven and Burn Down House on it. And I loved, I really enjoyed Freedom of Choice album. Now I finally got that album. And then I remember we used to go on field trips, sometimes in Erie. And we'd miss lunch, and what happened was the teacher would drop us off at the Mill Creek Mall, and we'd have an hour and a half to go there. Usually I'd have money, and I'd bring some money, and I'd eat at McDonald's. And then and I'd play video games. And then I remember that one time I went to the record store, and I bought Devo Duty Now for the Future, their 1979 album, which I love too. I remember seeing some friends from school. Man, I finally got the Devo I'm doing now for the future. That's so cool. And I remember walking in there, like, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Like, give me a break. I love that album. I was so happy. I couldn't wait to get home and listen to it. That was a great album, too. Years later, I found they had some bonus tracks that they never had on the album. They had a song called Penetration for the Centerfold. That song's dirty. That's a dirty song. Now, I found that Devo did some dirty songs I didn't know about until later on, because at the time, well, they had some songs that could be kind of suggestive, but it's still PG rated, But I mean, that was a dirty song. And what else happened? And from that point on, let me think. Well, I remember seeing them also on Solid Gold. They did That's Good album, the song That's Good. And then I remember my mom singing Peekaboo album with the clown. And she's like, they're so weird, Kenneth, I don't want him listening to them. They're so weird. And she was like, she's nuts. She's nuts. And she's like, there was a clown in the video. It's so weird. It's so strange. I know why I like stuff like that. So weird. That's the way she was. And, I mean, when I went in the Army, I went in the Army like the November 22nd of 1887. November 1st, my mom said, we're going to go to bed early and I'll take you out. And then she left my dad's, and that was a good thing, believe me. And then my dad knew that she was going to go anyways. I mean, she's not like the most subtle person in the world either. I mean, she's still my mom. I love her, but she can test your patience. A lot, and she is nuts. Well, anyways, I don't want to get off on that. So that was pretty much it for Devo and stuff like that. And I was like, I didn't know if they were ever going to make a new album. Because, I mean, those are the ones I caught up on. After Shout came out in 1984. And I caught up on, like, Freedom of Choice, Duty Now for the Future, And that was pretty much it. I didn't buy, I never bought Are We Not Men. Are We Not Men, We Are Devo, their album from 78, their classic album. Until much later. I found out through that video that I just saw today that a lot of people, they did song Satisfaction, that concert film. Like an earlier version of it, and they said people thought that they were making fun of the song I Can't Get No Satisfaction from Rolling Stones, and they weren't. And then I guess whenever they got their recording contract with Warner Brothers for that very first album, Are We Not Men, We Are Devo, one of the very first song was Satisfaction and stuff like that. And they said that Mick Jagger had listened to the song before they put it in the album. And he was listening to it, and then Gerald Casal was saying, like, oh man, he hates it. And like a half minute into it, he got up and started dancing and stuff like that. He says, I love it, I love it, I love it. So that's cool. I mean, it was a different, funkier version of the song, but I mean, both songs are great. They really are. It's just a different interpretation of it. And it wasn't insulting. It was more like homage or tribute to the band. Because sometimes bands do that. I mean, when Toad the Wet Sprocket did Rock and Roll All Night for that Kiss tribute album, that song was terrible. But this song was still pretty good, and so was the original I Can't Get No Satisfaction song. But like I said, I thought that was it for Devo for a while. And, I went into the Army, through basic training and stuff like that. And then when I was in AIT, I used to go to Georgia, take the bus to Georgia. There was this one mall that I'd always go to, and it was pretty cool. There was a movie theater outside. It had like, I don't know, like 6 theaters or something like that. And inside they had like a double level mall. They had like a little elevator and stuff like down there. And they had Chick-fil-A I used to go to. And I remember going to this one record store. I always buy records. And also I saw Devo, Total Devo, from another album company. I guess they left Warner Brothers and they went to a band called Enigma. And they said that, yeah, Enigma truly was an enigma because it was always hidden. And they said that people were saying that was going to be the next A&E records or stuff like that, and it ended up not being so. And that album wasn't well received, but I loved Total Devo. I guess they did that song, was it Disco Boy? Either Disco Boy or Baby Doll, I can't remember, was in the movie Tapeheads with Tim Robbins, which I never saw that movie. And they were supposed to be like a Swedish band, but they changed the lyrics or something like that. I guess that was the only album's claim to fame. But I love Total Devo. It wasn't received well by fans or critics, I guess, but it was in keeping with Devo, And then, so that was about it. I went from AIT to Germany for 2 years, and then I went from Germany for 2 years in the Army to Fort Bragg. And I remember in the PX in Fort Bragg, they had another Devo album called Strange Noodle Maps. I remember buying that from Enigma, and it didn't sound like Devo at all. There was a couple songs I liked, but I couldn't really get into the album at all. It was only like a half hour long, but I listened to it. I listened to it a few more times on YouTube, and there's a couple songs that are okay. Like I like "Stuck in a Loop," and but I mean, the first two songs I guess were okay. But I mean, it's like it just doesn't sound like Devo. And then I remember commenting on that. I said I like New Traditionalists, but I don't think this was as good. And someone said, "Well, of course it's not going to be good when you can compare it to something like New Traditionalists." Um, but I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of that. Because up to then, all the Devo albums were either like a full-on 10 out of 10 or maybe a 9.5 out of 10. This was the one that I was disappointed in. I probably gave it at the time, probably gave it a 6 out of 10. Now I'd probably give it a very mild 7 out of 10 maybe. Or I didn't like the album. I only listened to it once or twice. And I guess that was it. Devo called it quits, and they said they weren't going to tour anymore or anything like that. I think Enigma released a couple more albums, like The Worst of Devo, which was like all like B-side songs that you didn't hear, like Be Stiff, Turnaround, and stuff like that. And I remember they had The Best of Devo, which I bought when when Ames was going out of business. They had a cassette, The Best of Devo, so I decided to buy it. And it was like 3 songs from Strange New Maps, and then it was like a couple concert songs. Like a different version, like an acoustic version of Jocko Homo, which is really good. And then my dad actually liked that. I'm going to listen to it once or twice. And that was pretty much it for Devo for the longest time. And then I remember in 2009, just watching a casual episode of Dave Letterman, he said a band, I thought he said Devo, I wasn't sure, and then he said, yeah, it's been like 25 years since they did their last album, and now they're back with an album called Something for Everyone. Here's Devo. Holy shit, Devo's on. And they were like in blue outfits with visors and stuff, and they did the song So Fresh, which is a great song. I remember Rachel Ray, when she had her show on, she had a different version of So Fresh. I said, boy, why don't you use the Devo song? It's so much better. While I was speaking of TV. Oh, speaking of that, I remember when Devo had Work in a Coal Mine. I guess my mom hates Devo, but she listens to country music, and then the Judds had Work in a Coal Mine. That song was awful. Devo at least the song was really cool, but the songs with the Judds, like they slowed it down and he dumbed it down a lot. It was awful. I don't like the Judds anyways, especially Winona. But I don't know. I'm trying to think what happened after that. So Devo did Something for Everyone album. But I really I don't know what company released that album though. I have to look up, see what company released the album. I'm not sure. And trying to think. Oh, I almost forgot. After Strange Noodle Maps, see, like I forget things because this was like a long time in the 90s. After Strange Noodle Maps, in 91, Ryko Disc released an album called Hardcore Devo, Volume 1, which I absolutely loved. I played that album all the time. I absolutely loved that album, adored that album. And I was wondering when they were going to have Hardcore Devo Part 2. I never got the album. I didn't hear that till much later on YouTube, and I think I know why, because it's just like they said it was even more hardcore, more extreme. It wasn't the fact that it was really weird and hard to get into, and nowhere near as good as the first one, but really bizarre, really, 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 really weird and out there and hard to get into music. And I wasn't a fan of that album. I never bought it. I just listened to it on YouTube. Glad I didn't buy it. But the first one was fantastic. And then I heard, remember listening to those, and my dad was always pissed off that I was playing those on TV. Well, we always fought. And then I remember there was a Devo channel on YouTube I subscribed to, and all of a sudden you seen commercial Bougie Boy Boogie Boy coming out and saying, that they're going to be performing. They're going to be some certain select cities. They're going to be performing like their old hardcore Devo hits from the album. Oh, and a couple other things I skipped over. In Germany, I remember buying the first Devo video cassette I ever had, and it's called "We're All Devo." And it was from Rhino Home Video. It was a collection of their music videos, almost all of them, including "Worried Man." And that was the one that it was uncensored. And he said everything is fucked, everything is effed up, right? And I was really shocked to hear Devo say the F word and stuff. Cause I never really heard Devo do anything really that dirty before. And then when I was I remember they had an album when I at Home Video Exchange. I never rented it because it was only like an hour long. And I thought maybe I shouldn't rent it. I finally bought it at Coconuts. They had a place called Coconuts that's no longer in business. And I guess they had a Coconuts in Erie. And I went up to it, and then it went out of business. It's like, oh well. But I remember they had Devo, the Men Who Make the Music. And that had lots of references to hardcore Devo with like their secret agent man. With the original outfit with the blue, what do they call it? Blue uniform with the blue hat and like the clear mask. Way before they did like the energy dome things on their heads. They had that. And that was a very entertaining album too. I really liked that. And it was released, it was on Warner Brothers, but it said it was like Time Life Video. Back when they used to do videos. This was back in the 70s when things were very bizarre. Anyways, back up to the announcement that Boogie was like, Devo will be in certain cities, and they will be performing their hardcore lineup. And the sad thing was, right around that, before that time, Bob Casale passed away. And this was, when they did the lineup, this was after he passed. And now this is a concert film I saw tonight. They did a whole bunch of great songs. They did a bunch of songs from Hardcore Volume 1 and also Volume 2. But the ones from Volume 2 actually sounded better, except for the Boogie Boy one at the very end, which sounded just as strange as it did on the album. They're really weird. And they said, that was a love song. And Gerald said that was very heartfelt, Boogie Boy. Something like that. It was really bad. But I mean, that's the way it was meant to be. Pushing the boundary of what the audience would like or what they want to like. That's what Hardcore Devo Volume 2 was to me, anyways. But it's a very entertaining show, and they were talking about different things. Like they were even little interviews with the band, and they said that the Hardcore Devo thing was like them in the basement doing songs and stuff from like 74 to 77 with no filters and no commercial pressure or anything like that, just doing what they wanted to do. And it was all recorded and stuff. And at the end, when they did some stuff that they did in their a couple songs that they did from Are We Not Men, We Are Diva. They didn't do Whip It or anything like that. They did Satisfaction. They did Gut Feeling, Uncontrollable Urge, and stuff like that later on in the show. And well, like I said, when they left after Gut Feeling, they came back out. Boogie Boy came back out himself. He did that song with something else, and they came out, and they were saying that they're going to do a song they have done from 1977. And on bass, playing that was Bob too. Well, that was the guy that passed away. And in his place, we're going to have his son play. Alex, I believe his name was. And it was really good. It was the song Clock Out. Clock Out is an awesome song. I'm surprised they don't play that song all the time. That song is really good. So, I mean, all in all, I was so happy to see Hardcore Devo live, the concert film. And I saw it on Amazon, of all things. And wait a minute, let me check something. Okay, I wasn't done yet. Yeah, like I said, I was so happy to see that. Hit a button. I think I covered all my stuff for my history with Devo, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, the concert film is fantastic, phenomenal. Don't expect to see Whip It on there. And then they even interviewed Bob Mothersbaugh, and he was talking about he was saying, yeah, it was cool doing another song. And he said they get tired of doing. He said he was getting sick of doing Whip It. I love Whip It anyways, but I mean, just for the casual fan, don't expect it to be there. And I remember Larry the Cable Guy when he did his show, which I loved, Only in America. I guess the show's not on anymore, but it was he was making fun of Devo that one time. He was like, yeah, I remember the song Devo had. They had the hit song Whip It, and then they had the hit song Whip It, and then they had their hit song Whip It, and then they had a hit song Whip It, and they looked down like, if it was me, I said, what about working a coal mine or through being cool or drinking back and forth or, you know, that's good and all this other stuff. It's like, oh, I don't know about this stuff, you know. Oh, well. I'm a huge Devo fan. I always have been, always will be. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did this video telling about my whole history with Devo. I think I covered everything. I think I did. Everything, all the albums were really good except Hardcore Devo Part 2 and Strange Neural Maps have are not their best work. And also that the music video for Are You Experienced is incredibly dumb. Really stupid. But everything else they've done I think has been awesome, you know. And the concert video was no different. The concert video was full on 10 out of 10. I loved it. I really did. And I was cool. I finally got to see it. I think I heard like a recording of it on YouTube. I never saw the concert film. I'm finally glad I did. When my sister said I had Amazon, I mean, I didn't know I had it. Yeah, and I did. It was through free through Amazon Prime, so that's cool. So I hope you like this video, long video, but I had to do it. And like I said, along with just reviewing the concert film, I had to talk about my personal history with the band Devo. I'm assuming all Devo fans, you know, hopefully they'll be happy with the video. And I wanted to let you know I have 2 different shirts through Me and B Designs. I have this one, the Take Care of My Legion shirt, and I also have the Sign Off shirt now. And I wanted to thank them very much from the bottom of my heart for helping me out and make another shirt for me. Hopefully they'll do okay. I don't know. But I'll leave a link in the script for those too. So I hope you like this video. It's for you, Jody. I love you, Jody. But she experienced some of that Devo stuff. I think she liked some of the songs, but I don't think she liked them as much as I did. Because I know, like, the kids in school, some of the kids were more fans of Through Being Cool than the Whip It, believe it or not. But, I mean, I don't think Devo was that popular, at least not in, for the most part, with some of the kids in school. But, I mean, I liked it. Like I said, they had the song Shout. They did their own version of Shout. And whenever they were doing, like, school announcements and stuff like that, they were playing the song Shout. That was, like, the thing. But they play, like, the Tears for Fears Shout, or they play Twist and Shout. They would never play the Devo version of Shout. It's like, what about the Devo version of Shout? And they never played that version. Oh, well. It's cool. No big deal. So I hope you like this video and my review of the concert film Hardcore Devo Live, and also my personal history with the band Devo. So until next time, everybody, please take care of my Legion. And also, the one cool thing, if you're a fan of Devo, there's a wealth of stuff on YouTube, of like videos from different TV shows you might not have seen, interviews, and a whole bunch of different stuff. I know Mark Mothersbaugh went on to, he was married to Lorraine Newman from Saturday Night Live, and he went on to do, I don't know if he still is or not, but I don't know. And she was in his We're All Devo video, you know. And I haven't seen Lorraine Newman since Problem Child 2. She was in that. I don't think I've seen her since then, I don't think. And what else was there? And then he went on to do music for different things like Pee-wee's Playhouse. I guess Paul Rooms was asking him to score my TV show, and he wasn't able to. He was touring with Devo. And after things settled down after Shout came out. He said, "Well, now I have time to score your TV show." And he did that, and then he went on to do stuff for Rugrats, Last Man on Earth, movies like Clyde with a Chance of Meatballs, and all this other stuff. So, I mean, he's still doing really well. They all are. And like I said, I hope you like this video, everybody. Oh, Maggie. She's only honey. Cat came over to see me. She's such a good cat. So I hope you like this video, everybody. And like I said, as always, take care of my legion.